Val di Sole in Italy is the second stop on the circuit of the 2012 RockyRoads UCI Mountain Bike World Cup presented by Shimano. Surrounded by national parks, the Valley of the Sun is a mecca for mountain bikers of all skill levels. For the downhill elite, Val di Sole mostly means torture and pain. This technically demanding course takes everything out of them.
Hey, Steve Smith, and we're gonna do a run down the Val di Sole track. Val di Sole, it's a pretty well-known track, and it's known for being rough. It's hard on riders. It's basically, as soon as you get out of the start gate, it's full on the whole way to the finish. It's really steep here, lots of roots and rocks. You just have to mentally and physically be strong for it. A lot of people love it for that reason. We're into basically the first technical bit of the track. A lot of people in the years past, I remember there's lots of troubles in here, big rocks, deep holes, and yeah, it's tough to get through here. So this one is one of the toughest areas to get a perfect line to go through smooth. We're, I'd say, maybe halfway down the course now in the section called the Red Bull section. This one's tough. It's hard to kind of tell, but it's off camber the whole way down, so you're turning left and the hill kind of slants to the right. So you're kind of crossing roots the whole way down and with ledges and that, so you gotta be really careful with how hard and how quick you come down it. Once you get to here, you're blown out, your hands are hurting, and then you've got this last really steep bit just to kind of hurt your hands even more, so I can see why they call it the hell. We're now finished with the technical bits of the track, basically into the open. One last really tough left-hander and a bit of pedaling to the finish.
The challenging track demands everything of the professionals, even during practice. After more than 2.5 months break, the World Cup season now finally takes off. The course here is completely different to the one in South Africa, where the season kicked off with a couple of surprises. Round 1 took place 2.5 months ago in Pietermaritzburg, South Africa. Rachel Atherton had to make a tough decision. After undergoing yet more shoulder surgery, she had to skip the opening round and to make the most out of the 10-week gap before round 2 to fully recover. Another girl to miss this race would be French rider Florian Pougin, who crashed hard in practice and who is out with a shoulder injury. With 2 of the favorites missing, junior world champion Manon Carpenter was able to take full advantage and get her first World Cup podium. But this race was all about one girl, the comeback of angelic Australian Tracy Hanna. After 4 years away from the sport, she had an amazing run to mark her return to World Cup racing with a bang, taking the win in round 1. In the men's event, the weekend couldn't have started on a worse note for New Zealander Brooke McDonald, who got it all wrong on this huge jump, crashing hard in qualification. 3-time world champion Sam Hill didn't have the best start to his season, finishing just outside the top 10, with teammate Troy Brosnan slotting in just ahead of him in 8th. 4-cross legend Jared Graves marked his return to downhill with an amazing 6th place. 2010 World Cup champion G. Atherton was desperate to kick off his season with a win, but it wasn't to be his day. The Englishman finished in a disappointing 4th place. After his sister won earlier this day, sick Mick Hanna settled a score from 2011 when a crash nearly ended his season, taking 3rd place. After making history the year before by winning an unprecedented 5 World Cups in 1 year, defending champ Aaron Gwynn started as favorite, but it wasn't to be. On home soil, and after missing out on victory here in 2011 by the narrowest of margins, it was all down to the fastest qualifier, Greg Minnaar. Making up for a 2-second deficit at split 1, Minnaar did the impossible to start 2012 with an incredible victory. So it was Tracy Hanna coming back to World Cup racing with a win, less than a second ahead of Manon Carpenter and Emilian Rago in third. And in the men's, it was Greg Minnaar taking the win from Aaron Gwynn by just over half a second. Mick Hanna earned third, Atherton fourth, and Steve Smith, having a great ride, took fifth.
Let's hear it for Greg Minnaar, South Africa.
Hello, I'm Rob Warner. Thank you for joining me here this afternoon in Val di Sole, Italy, one of the most spectacular technical tracks on the World Cup circuit. Well, let's get straight into the action then with the women. So Tracy Hanna in the gate, uncharacteristic, lowly qualifying position for her, won the first round in Pietermaritzburg some 2.5 months ago. And she said she doesn't feel that comfortable on this track, a lot steeper than she's used to, but she looks quick down there. Oh, she just clips that rock there. Well, more than clips it, it nearly has her clean off the bike. So Hanna getting all out of sorts there, the round 1 winner. And she's not having a good run now. You can see just how much that slowed her down. 10 seconds nearly back, over 9.5 seconds back. She won't make that up on this bottom section. So it's damage limitation now for Hanna in the overall points race. Schladming in 07, a very steep track, but today just not her day. She comes down to the line and goes 7.97 back. So Florian Pugin then, number 4 qualifier, the flying banana, that lowly 16 plate on the bike because she actually crashed out of round 1, didn't make the final. So a rough time for her, got hurt at Chambéry at the Worlds last year as well. Oh, but look at that time, 4.108 up. So Pugin charging here in Val di Sole. These European girls are a lot more used to these steep tracks, and you can see just how much speed she's carrying down there as she comes out into the open. So she was second here in 2011. She'd love to have a win though. Just a sprint to the line for Florian Pugin from France. Look at the time. Oh, she goes fastest, 4.855 up for Florian Pugin. As we go back to the top for Miriam Nicole. 4th in the 2011 World Cup, but more importantly taking her only World Cup win on this course. In 2011 sends that big road gap, massive heavy landing for her, but it's worth it. She's 9.188 up, and she cuts that turn beautifully, getting out of that rut early, giving her a great line into this steep section. Oh, and Miriam Nicole looks to be charging to me, excels on these steep tracks, and you can see just how well she is riding it, making sense of this, a lot steeper than it looks on camera. The French national champion then trying to stay off those brakes as she comes down in the last turn. She crosses the line, what's the time? Oh, she goes fastest, 10.961 up. That is huge for her. So the 2008 world champion Rachel Atherton won that world championship on this course. Who will forget that day when her brother was also decorated with the rainbow strikes in the men event? And look, she loves these steep technical courses. Rachel Atherton had so many shoulder surgeries over the last few years, but she's so resilient, keeps coming back for more. Oh, 2.698 up, and Nicole was on a flyer. Rachel Atherton coming inside that rock there, not bothering to set up and get wide, but you see just trying to keep a flow on through those turns. Flat lands off there as well. So Rachel Atherton is charging. It looks like a good, solid run from her. She's carrying awesome speed. So is she going to go wide or tight on this last turn? Sends it around the outside there. Will make her carry more speed onto that last straight. Just how hard that GT bicycle is working down through those braking bumps there. Now she's going to come out of there, get hard on those pedals, down towards the line. Here she is then. Rachel Atherton crosses the line. She goes fastest. One girl left at the top of the mountain, and the number 1 qualifier, Emmeline Rago. Can she stop Rachel Atherton? Coming back to World Cup racing with a win. Oh, she's cased that road gap there, coming up really short, you could see it, and she's back, 4.676 as she comes into this technical lower part, cuts that turn there, and again, oh, in a different line there, Rachel Atherton going over that rock and into that inside line. So Emmeline Rago there taking the long way round. Doesn't look to be quite as quick and comfortable as Rachel was on this bottom part. Rachel, of course, missing Pietermaritzburg round one with yet more shoulder surgery. So has Emmeline Rigaud done enough on the lower part? She's going to be well outside it. Goes into third, 8 seconds back. And Rachel Athen takes the win here in Val di Sole. What a comeback from her. Incredible.
Rachel, congratulations. How did that go?
Thank you very much, man. I still can't quite believe it. The track here this weekend is insane. You know, it was so long and physical and absolutely wild. And, you know, I knew if I was going to win it, then I had to put everything on the line. Had a pretty good run and nearly crashed a few times, but, you know, you've just got to risk it, and I wanted to win.
Well, she won the World Championships here, and today an incredible ride from her. Miss PMB the first round, Pietermaritzburg, and she comes back at round 2 with that incredible victory on screen. 3:49 the time. Miriam Nicole second, Emmeline Rigaud third, Floriane Pougin fourth, Morgane Charles. Great ride from her in fifth. Those French girls stacked in there, second to fifth.
After the commercial break, the highlight of the World Cup in Val di Sole, the men's final. We look back with Greg Minnaar to his last season and his home race in Pietermaritzburg, and we'll be showing how the Santa Cruz Syndicate crew make the most of their free time. At the second downhill race of the 2012 RockyRoads UCI Mountain Bike World Cup 2012 presented by Shimano, Rachel Atherton has managed a dream comeback and made a late start into the World Cup season with a victory. If her brother G wants to do the same like in the 2008 World Cup, he has to get past one guy, Greg Minnaar. 53 World Cup podiums, 3 overall World Cup wins, plus a World Championship speak for themselves. What's more, after a heart-stopping final, he also clinched victory at the Tour opener in his hometown.
I think as the season goes, it's a good start, you know, to win any race these days is maximum points, and it's a great start, but winning in a hometown is more the effect of being in front of everyone that you know and winning there. You know, you forget about the whole season and you focus solely on that event. Yeah, I didn't win much last year. Gwyn just came with this new fierce attacking riding style, and it paid off. You know, he won so many races and he just dominated, he just thrashed everyone. It motivated me, it pissed me off at times. You know, it's hard. I think some of the hardest races were definitely like Montana in Canada, where I felt good and I had good splits, and then crashing, you know, halfway down didn't help. And then you lose all your confidence and you go to race the next weekend in Wyndham, and I just had a crap race. Hopefully this season we can mix it up a bit more. You know, I know we had a good start. I had a good race last weekend, and we've had a whole bunch of equipment change on our bike, and I feel it's awfully good. I think if we I think we've got a better chance now of making it even playing field. Well, yeah, downhill is an individual sport. You're on the track by yourself. You've got no support from anyone else. The support comes in terms of the bike, the setting at training and test sessions, and your teammates around you just help you figure out a better way to get down the track. I think the Syndicate's probably got the best combination of all of that. We have great mechanical support, amazing product, and then, you know, for myself, I've got 2 of the best teammates to have, Josh and Steve. So, you know, Steve, with all his experience, I mean, I think he's 17 or 18 years experience on the World Cup. So it definitely plays a big role in Josh and myself's racing. Well, most weekends we try to find something local to do, and, you know, out here in Italy, we figured out a place to go river rafting. It was all fun and good fun. We had quite a good time, you know. The tour guide was freaking out a bit, you know. I think they're a bit conservative, and we want a bit more risk involved, you know. It's got to have an element of danger, and we didn't seem to find that, so we try to make it ourselves. The guys piled the rafts on each other and told us to jump off, and, you know, Steve ran and did this flip, so I thought I'd try something else, and as I landed, I don't even think my head got wet, and I landed on the bottom. I think the guys totally didn't know the river we're going down, but, you know, it was mellow. It's good to do a bit of team bonding, have a bit of a laugh. Wherever we travel, we travel via somewhere good, somewhere fun, we always got to do something. You go to all these places and you might as well experience them more to what they can provide. So we try to do that everywhere we go.
Tires. They play a crucial role in a downhill race. They can make the difference between victory or defeat, and have to withstand huge stresses under the most diverse conditions. Whether in rain, on rutted root-covered tracks, or over stone fields, whatever the terrain or weather, a World Cup team always has the best rubber available.
During the World Cup season, we use 3 different tires. It's a Kaiser Rammstein project, and a Mud King. In Pietermaritzburg book, we used the Kaiser tire. It's the fastest rolling tire in the downhill range. This was a pretty obvious choice for us because the track is super fast. It's not very technical, so you don't actually need that much grip, but you do need something which rolls super quick. This is the Kaiser Rammstein tire. Basically, Kaiser is faster tire, and the Rammstein is more grippy. It's got much more knobbles, and the gaps are much smaller, so it digs in much better in the ground. And when you need a lot of grip, this is definitely the tire to have, you know. If it doesn't rain in Val di Sole, we're probably gonna use the Rammstein tire. It's a really technical track. You need a lot of braking, like really good braking, really good cornering. And with the thread pattern of the Rammstein tire. If it's going to be raining, we're definitely going to go for the mud tire. It's the Mud King. The gaps are pretty nice, so you got excellent braking. The pattern of the knobs is specifically designed so you don't slide on the roots. You know, you haven't got the massive gaps that you could slide on a root when you're going over them. So. That definitely helps.
Well, Pete, tell us about the tyres there. Yep, completely different to what they'd have used at round 1. Of course, it's a totally different track. Round 1, all about pedalling and a relatively flat track. Here, it's all vertical and technical, and all you've got to do is stay off the brakes. A lot easier said than done. One man who knows about that, though, is Stevie Smith. See his fingers there, taped together, had a crash yesterday before qualifying and actually broke a bone in his hand in a lot of pain, decided to miss the qualifier. This place not been very kind to him. Last year he qualified second and actually broke his ankle as well before the final. So Smith digging in though, the Canadian, a tough guy, 5th at round 1, and you can see the pace he's carrying. So it doesn't look to me like that injury is slowing him down too much. Smith, one of the most focused riders on the course. Oh, he goes 0.5 of a second up to Loic Brony as we look to the top for Cam Cole, the big New Zealand rider. Another guy coming back from injury, missed a lot of last season with a scaphoid, then got hurt at the Championship Worlds, missed Pietermaritzburg with that forearm injury, but Cam Cole done well on this course before, and look how quick he goes whistling in the trees there, jumps that road gap beautifully. Oh, and he's up, nearly 2 seconds up for the big skin from New Zealand. And he will love this technical part, taking that tyre line over that rock, sending it off that big step down there. Hard on the brakes, difficult to know how hard to brake. You cannot run wide on this track. The racing line's clean, and then there's a foot or more. Oh, and Cam getting loose. I was about to say, there's a foot or more of loose dust on the outside of that racing line. And thank goodness for Cam Cole, because he used every bit of it there to stay upright. Comes across the line, 1.5 up for Cam Cole. Sam Hill then, the 2008 world champion, another man been hampered by injury, was on for the biggest win ever at World Championships in 2008 on this course, when he had the most famous get-off in mountain biking history, and he gets loose there into all that loose there. You can see just how deep that loamy soil is. The rocks hidden underneath, the tree roots hidden underneath, you can't see them. So these guys really riding parts of this course blind. But Hill, yeah, some 10 seconds up, and he's up today. 0.155 up, some 10 seconds up of that World Championship run before crashing on that last corner, still managed to get up and take 3rd. Such was his pace. So Hill struggling a little bit to refine some of that form. Different line there for him. cut that turn. You can see him getting outside into that loose dust. Takes that inside corner. That's where he crashed in 2008. Hill looking good as he comes down to the line. He's going to go outside the time set by Cam Colo. 0.7 back. G. Atherton, the 2008 world champion on this course. This is where Rachel Atherton and him, his sister, both won the Worlds in one day. And he looks so fast after a disappointing start in Peter Maritzburg. He's been a little bit short of wins lately. He wants to win a World Cup desperately again, and this afternoon will suit him. 3.5 up then at the split. And look at that for perfection. Just setting those wheels down between the roots on that landing, making sure he doesn't case anything or lose any speed. Oh, and you can see just, well, it didn't quite work for him. Tried to get wide on turn 1 to flick back across turn 2 here. You can see him there. He's made some space, but he isn't able to really capitalise on it and get back up onto those roots to give him a nice straighter run through that second turn. So a little mistake for Atherton. Won't have cost him too much time. When the conditions are like this, you are going to make mistakes. So foot out as he comes into the last corner. G. Atherton sprints to the line. He's going to go fastest. Oh, 1.35 up for G-Man. Is it going to be enough? Well, what a run from G-Man. 3 to go, though. Is it going to be good enough? The next rider, teammate to G. On GT Factory Racing, it's Mark Beaumont from the UK. Had his second World Cup win here in 2010. And what a run he put together. Can he match that run again here today? Loves these steep technical courses. So he's making light work of that top section. Looks good, didn't get thrown out wide into those big speed sapping soft berms on the outside of the track. Keeps it low across that road gap. That was good. 1.8 back. Usually that would have him out of contention, but on a course as technical as this, well, he could definitely close it up. That was quick. Definitely fast through there. We saw G-Man make a mistake through that section. Beaumont definitely making lighter work of it, hitting those lines a lot better. So Mark Beaumont then, he's going to come down to the line. It's going to be close, but he's not going to be the G-Man. He goes in a second spot, 0.54 back. So round 1 winner, Greg Minnaar. What can you say about this man? Riding for the Santa Cruz Syndicate. Just seems to be able to turn it up whenever he needs to, under pressure. And boy, would he love to extend his lead in the World Cup over Aaron Gwynn here this afternoon. That big languid style of him. You can see him, Minnaar, just soaking it up. He's so tall and rangy on that bike. The big 10-inch travel Santa Cruz. Where is he on the split? We're going to have a look at it in a moment. Oh, big across the road gap. So here is that split. 1.074 back. Nothing really for him. Really nose high. I think he probably thought he was going to come up a little bit short there and decided to play it safe. But he carries on regardless. It wasn't a mistake from him, didn't cost him any time. Railing that turn there, sending it off there beautifully. So people question Minnaar's ability on these technical tracks. He silenced them in 2010 when he went head-to-head with G. Atherton all year long. Aaron Gwynn has joined the party though in 2011, and Minnaar comes down to the line. Oh, he goes fastest, half a second up, with one man left at the top of the hill, and it's this man, Aaron Gwynn. Can he ruin the party again for Minnaar? And Atherton, fastest qualifier, the winner here in 2011 as well. Look at the pace of him. I don't know how he does it. No one really knows what makes him go so fast. He just does. He's absolutely incredible. And you can see him squashing that road jump there, absolutely making light work of that. What? 6.5 seconds up. This is insane, ladies and gentlemen. You are watching one of the greatest runs in the history of mountain biking here. People do not go 6 seconds up halfway down a downhill course, and he gets on that line there. We saw G push that front there, and Gwynn, feet up, absolutely nails it. So just this final drop down now into this big left. The demise of Sam Hill of the 2008 World Championships, runs that tight line, gets away with it. What's the time? He's 8 seconds fastest. You do not win World Cups by margins like that.
There we go. Congratulations, man. How was that run? You must have another line than the other guys. You're 7 seconds ahead.
Yeah, it was good. Just solid run. I knew it was going to be tough, but I felt good all weekend. So it was just trying to put it together. You know, the track was really, really rough. I think the bottom minute, I was just sort of riding along for the ride. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just trying to hold on. But it was good. It was, yeah. Like I said, just had to put it together. The track was so rough. I knew it was going to be hard, so I just had to stay patient.
Well, if that was Aaron Gwyn being patient, I'd hate to see him when he's in a hurry. That man has certainly got the rest of the mountain bike racers on the World Cup circuit scratching their heads. So nearly 8 seconds, the victory today. Aaron Gwyn from Greg Minnaar. G. Atherton there in 3rd. Mark Beaumont 4th. Cam Cole, brilliant ride for him down there in 5th spot. Another rider coming back from injury. And in the overall, Aaron Gwyn and Greg Minnaar now tied with a winner piece at the top of the point stands on 450. G. Atherton and Mark Beaumont, the 2 Brits, 3rd and 4th. And Stevie Smith, despite riding a day with an injury, holds on a 5th overall. This is Rob Warner signing off from Val de Sole. Join us next week to see if Aaron Gwyn can repeat the magic in the Scottish Highlands. It's one of the biggest races of the year, Fort William in Scotland.